It's updated. Chapter 146 of Mr. Zombie is out. Violet, Arya, and Ling joined forces against the Frost Demon Zombie King, but to their shock, even working together, they couldn't even touch a hair on their enemy, and were soon trapped in her domain. Zombie wanted to rush to their rescue, but was stopped by Greta and the others, who insisted he restrain his powers. It turned out that just moments before, Zombie had rushed to the battlefield with Prince Kai and his pet dog, only to accidentally demolish the fortress wall and, in a stroke of luck, take out the Shadow Blade Zombie King. This unexpected scene left Greta and the others dumbfounded. In order to quickly evacuate the wounded before the zombie horde noticed the breach, everyone immediately threw themselves into rescue operations. At the staff's urging, Prince Kai dashed onto the collapsing rubble, searching frantically until he found the severely injured prophet buried beneath. "Thank goodness, I knew you'd be alright. Luckily, I dodged a fatal blow at the last moment. I'm not dead yet. How's the fortress? Are you all okay?" At these words, Prince Kai hesitated, unable to explain. "We're fine. Zombie accidentally destroyed the fortress during the fight, and the association will blame this loss on our team. Since you're alive, hurry and think of a plan. What should we do next?" Hearing this, the prophet was stunned, as if he had aged 10 years in an instant. He turned to the rescue team and shouted, "Rescue team, I urgently need your help. Please, bury me back under the rubble. Death would be so much easier." Meanwhile, elsewhere, Zombie kept apologizing as he surveyed his masterpiece. Greta, in despair, put a leash on himself. "The human's most important border fortress is finished. I fought so hard, yet couldn't save a thing. I might as well strangle myself." Seeing this, Zombie quickly tried to comfort her. "Only half of it's ruined, isn't it? Maybe if we patch it up, it'll still work." Just then, a distant boom sounded, and a pillar of ice shot up into the sky. "There's still fighting over there, looks like it's where Violet is. And this move seems awfully familiar. I remember now, that icy mist is from that troublesome, chilling Zombie King, isn't it? Back then, it took us ages to finally beat him. This is bad, Violet's in trouble. We have to send someone to help her quickly." He glanced at the exhausted, demoralized Greta, who wanted to die after the fortress was destroyed. Then at Prince Kai, worn out after fighting the Zombie King all night, and finally at the battered prophet, who looked ready to collapse at any moment. He then said, "Since everyone's injured, I'll go have a look myself. After all, that Zombie King is the one Violet is least suited to fight." At this, the prophet clung to Zombie's leg, while Prince Kai and the others hurriedly blocked his way. "Zombie, calm down. I'll send people to help right now. Besides, Arya and Ling are already there. This is really nothing for you to handle." "Really? Are you sure it'll be alright?" All three hurriedly insisted he restrain his powers. Meanwhile, on the other side, Violet and her companions managed to escape from the Frost Demon Zombie King and burst out of the Hot Springs Pavilion. "We almost died, but we finally made it out. Aren't you supposed to be heroes who defeat zombie kings? Why are you so good at running away? We were still soaking when he attacked, now we're soaked, completely at a disadvantage, and these capes don't keep you warm at all. I'm freezing to death." Just then, a wave of ice burst from the ground ahead. Seeing this, Arya urgently warned everyone. Before she finished speaking, an ice pillar shot out from underground, heading straight for Violet. Fortunately, Violet reacted swiftly, gripping her sword with both hands and even her mouth, barely blocking the Frost Demon Zombie King's fatal blow. "Not bad, pretty quick on the reaction. You're human, but why do you have a scent that feels so familiar and endearing?" As soon as she finished, the Frost Demon Zombie King's body turned to crystal, and her real body appeared behind Violet, coming close to sniff her. "Could you be related to that special existence the source is searching for? Let me take your head and interrogate you properly." With these words, Violet spun around, slashing quickly, but the Frost Demon Zombie King dodged with ease. Simultaneously, Ling fired her electromagnetic particle cannon. "Don't you dare hurt Sister Violet. We won't let you succeed." Yet the Frost Demon Zombie King easily dodged the cannon, lunging at Ling. "Such courage from such a little thing. Then allow me to take care of you first." At that moment, Arya flashed in front of her. "Let me take care of you first." With a deafening boom, Arya unleashed a domineering fire punch at the Frost Demon Zombie King. But after this blow, Arya's face grew grave. Her punch had only destroyed a clone, not even touching the Zombie King's real body. As Violet rushed over to regroup with them, Arya urgently reminded everyone, "Be careful. A Lord-level zombie king is extremely difficult to handle, she must be nearby. This ice is harder than steel, and she can move through it at will. Gan Ling's particle cannon takes too long to charge, so it's useless. Even if Arya melts the ice with fire, she freezes it again instantly. At this rate, we might not even touch her before we all freeze to death." At that moment, Violet looked at the cold mist surrounding them and said, "Although we're trapped in here, I can still hear the sounds of fighting in the distance. I'm sure Zombie and the others will come to help us soon." However, Gan Ling fell into despair upon hearing this. What use is it if Zombie comes? The enemy we face is a Lord of the Dead Zone, each with a fragment of the zombie tide source power in their bodies, top-tier beings that can control other zombies, far beyond any ordinary zombie king. No matter how strong Zombie is, he can't leap ranks to fight these lords. This is an absolute suppression of status, an unbreakable bloodline dominance. At these words, Violet rolled her eyes. "I don't really know what you mean by status suppression, but Zombie is definitely not included. A sneaky zombie king like this probably couldn't even take a single punch from Zombie." As they spoke, a shadow zipped through the ice beneath their feet, suddenly appearing at Gan Ling's feet. Seeing this, Arya hurriedly warned Gan Ling to be careful, but before she finished, the ice beneath Gan Ling surged upward, and in the next instant, the Frost Demon Zombie King seized her and dragged her high into the air. At the same time, Violet quickly gave chase, slashing the ice connecting the Frost Demon Zombie King into pieces with her sword. Yet as Violet closed in, the Frost Demon Zombie King remained unfazed. "That's right, come save this useless little one." As soon as she finished speaking, Arya instantly appeared behind her, pressing her hands against her head. "Gan Ling is an important partner of ours, she's not a useless little one." With that, and a thunderous boom, Arya unleashed a powerful burst of fire ability that instantly engulfed the entire area. The surrounding ice evaporated into nothingness under the blast. Seeing this, Violet called out anxiously, "Arya. Gan Ling, are you two alright?" As the flames dissipated, it became clear that Arya had successfully saved Gan Ling, but her abdomen had been pierced by the Frost Demon Zombie King's ice spike. Seeing this, Violet rushed over and asked, "Arya, how did you get hurt? What exactly happened just now? You clearly had her. This lord's ability is too tricky. Maybe at the very moment you thought you had her, her real body had already escaped. I let my guard down and she ambushed me." At this, Gan Ling looked at Arya's wound, blaming himself. "It's all because I'm so useless. If only I'd been a bit more careful, you wouldn't have gotten hurt." At this, Arya lifted her hand to wipe away her tears. "Silly, how could this be your fault? None of the three of us could have completely avoided that kind of attack. And if I'd been the one in danger, wouldn't you have risked your life to save me too? I just did what you would have done, so stop blaming yourself." After hearing Arya's words, Gan Ling finally calmed down. At that moment, Violet suddenly noticed that the ice Arya had evaporated was starting to reform, and countless ice crystals were gathering in the air. Soon, the Frost Demon Zombie King reappeared. "You sisters really are close. I've already turned the entire city's groundwater into ice. Now, enjoy the little time you have left." As she spoke, countless ice crystals rose around Violet and the others, enclosing them once again. In the blink of an eye, a colossal ice crystal cage was formed. "I want to savor your suffering in this magnificent ice crystal cage. Now allow me to send you on your final journey." With that, the Frost Demon Zombie King raised his hand and launched an attack, sending a barrage of ice spikes down upon Violet and the others. Seeing this, Violet immediately activated her zombie form. After telling Gan Ling to protect Arya, she disappeared in an instant. In the blink of an eye, she shattered all the ice spikes into fragments and charged rapidly toward the Frost Demon Zombie King. However, upon seeing Violet's form, the Frost Demon Zombie King became excited. "As expected, you possess what the Lord of the Source has been searching for. I must have your head." With that, she manipulated the ice and attacked Violet again. In an instant, the ice engulfed Violet's lower body, and with a boom, she was slammed back down to the ground. At this point, Violet looked at the Frost Demon Zombie King, not knowing what to do. If she forced herself into her second zombie form, she might be able to break through with one powerful attack, but afterwards she would lose all ability to move, leaving herself at her enemy's mercy. With this thought, Violet called out to Arya and the others, "Find somewhere to hide. As long as we can hold out until Zombie arrives, we'll be saved." Arya smiled slightly at these words. "You really trust Zombie?" It's good to have someone you can entrust your life to. As she spoke, Arya pulled out the ice spike from her waist, and sealed the wound with fire. Actually, I also believe that Prince Kai and the Prophet will come to our rescue. But precisely because of this, we can't just hide and wait for help. We must fight with all our might and search for a chance at victory. Only then am I someone worthy of their trust as well. With a boom, a terrifying flame erupted from within Arya. Violet, you're strong, but why do you refuse to let yourself become even stronger? Trust is never just one-sided dependence. Don't you agree? Hearing the word dependence, Violet suddenly realized something. That's right, ever since I met Zombie, my heart has changed little by little, and I've become increasingly dependent on him. Am I still the same person I used to be? Then, childhood memories floated before her eyes. She saw herself lying in a hospital bed, staring blankly at the legs she had severed, while a family photo on the table hinted at happier times. Across from her, the 18-year-old Professor Jamie gazed at her from beside the TV stand, unable to suppress his sympathy. She had killed her own parents when they turned into zombies, then used a kitchen knife to chop off her zombie-bitten legs piece by piece, crawling by sheer willpower to the Academy's rescue point. Such a girl was truly pitiable. Thinking this, Professor Jamie sighed and walked over to young Violet's bedside. Do you want to use the mechanical prosthetics I just developed? I should warn you, the installation requires severing every nerve and then electrifying them. It will be extremely painful. Are you sure you want to? But before he finished, young Violet interrupted him. I can accept it. I need power. I need the strength to eradicate zombies completely. At this moment, seeing her younger self's determined gaze, Violet finally understood. She remembered why she had wanted to become strong in the first place. As a child, after losing everything to zombies, she endured pain and fought desperately out of hatred, all to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. Could this be why I couldn't use zombies' power or awaken an ability? That's right. Because your heart was filled with hatred for zombies and you couldn't deceive yourself, you kept running away. Hearing this, Violet turned in disbelief, to find the speaker was her younger, ponytailed self. Meanwhile, in reality, Arya landed a direct punch on the Frost Demon Zombie King, only to find she'd struck another clone. Another decoy again, how infuriating. She hurried over to the battered Gan Ling. Gan Ling, are you alright? I'm fine. This guy is so elusive. I wish the Prophet were here. In response, Arya said to Violet, Violet, help look after Gan Ling for now. I'll find a way to force her out. But Violet seemed not to hear her, still standing in a daze. Just then, the ground beneath her cracked with a sharp sound. Arya and Gan Ling tried to warn her, but in the next instant, with a squelch, an ice spike shot upward, piercing Violet's body, and extracting her heart. The Frost Demon Zombie King materialized, heart in hand, and laughed. I didn't expect it to be this easy. It seems the cold and fear have paralyzed you. Now I'll take your corpse, and leave the other two to perish in the extreme cold. Before she could finish, Arya punched her in the face, but once again, the Frost Demon Zombie King switched to a decoy and escaped. Arya told Gan Ling to hurry and save Violet, then chased after the Frost Demon Zombie King herself. Damn, I really need to control my emotions in battle. I can't believe I got hit just now. As for Violet, her body pierced, she tried to rely on what little consciousness she had left to transform into a zombie, but her younger self suddenly appeared again. It's no use. You've acknowledged your inner hatred, so you can no longer use zombie powers. Now, only we can save you, we who are as filled with hate and anger as you are. As she spoke, her appearance twisted, and transformed into a monster covered in eyes and mouths, slowly merging into Violet's body. Come on, surrender your body to us. Let's take revenge on the whole world together, and make everyone feel our pain. It was then that Violet realized this monster was the 10 billion souls slaughtered by Vero and trapped in the thousand-faced moon. Why did you once willingly serve your enemy Vero like dogs, yet now relentlessly disrupt my mind in battle? We had no choice. Our entire civilization couldn't stand up to Lord Vero. What's wrong with bowing to the strong? Don't you also rely on your enemy zombie for power? Without zombie strength, you can't even defeat a zombie king like this. Just accept our psychic power and obediently become our puppet for revenge against the world. As the psychic force of 10 billion souls merged completely into Violet's body, Arya once again unleashed a powerful burst of fire ability. Witnessing this, Ling grew anxious for her. Arya was prepared to burn her own flesh if that's what it took to defeat the Frost Demon Zombie King. As the standoff continued, a surge of psychic energy appeared at Ling's feet. She looked at Violet in disbelief, and at the same time, the Frost Demon Zombie King sensed this aura as well. With a crack, the ice on Violet's chest shattered, and in the next moment, she entered a new form. A third eye opened in the center of her forehead, unleashing a terrifying energy. The flying shards of ice instantly froze in midair. This was the new ability Violet had obtained. Time stasis. Violet stepped onto the floating ice, striding 10 meters at a time, rapidly approaching the Frost Demon Zombie King. So this is the power born from zombies' psychic force of 10 billion people. While it doesn't have the destructive force to move the sun like Vero, it suits my fighting style much better. At that moment, the thousand-faced moon was held in her grasp, its face full of disbelief. How is this possible? You've accepted all the psychic power, why can't we control your body? Hearing this, Violet gripped tighter and pulled it in front of her. Speaking of which, I really should thank you all. Thanks to you restless souls, I was able to remember my original purpose in fighting. I destroy zombies not for revenge, but to prevent tragedies like mine from happening again. Zombie and I are comrades who share the same dream, and my trust in him has never been because of his strength, but because of his kindness. No matter what Zombie is or becomes, I am always willing to accept his power. With that, Violet unlocked the second stage of her zombie genes and transformed once more, using her powerful zombie body to instantly heal and completely suppress the psychic force of 10 billion. She then activated her thought deity and crushed the thousand-faced moon in her grasp. You lost souls are only fit to be ruled by the power of zombies. And this is the complete form of Violet's thought deity, the purple moon veil that enfolds time itself. Watching Violet slowly approach, the Frost Demon Zombie King was utterly incredulous. What's going on? How is she completely different from before? At that moment, Violet lightning danced over Violet's body. The Frost Demon Zombie King sensed danger and tried to flee, but was instantly immobilized. In a flash, with a whoosh, Violet appeared behind her and sliced off her right arm. The Frost Demon Zombie King stared in shock at his severed arm, having no idea when Violet struck. Seeing this, Ling shouted excitedly, "Sister Violet, did you awaken the same super speed ability as Prince Kai? You're so fast." Arya, being more perceptive, noticed something strange. I didn't sense the wind tearing at high speed, what she awakened must be an ability even more advanced than super speed. Hearing this, the Frost Demon Zombie King retorted indignantly, "So what if you're faster? In my domain, it's useless." With that, she expanded her ice domain to its maximum, and unleashed an extreme cold storm at Violet. In an instant, countless ice spikes shot toward Violet from all directions. Violet snorted, "Pointless resistance. Stop." The surge of her purple moon power, the entire area froze as time itself stopped. Violet then walked slowly through the motionless ice spikes toward the Frost Demon Zombie King, who was frozen in his attack stance. She calmly raised her sword, and with several swift slashes, the Zombie King was instantly sliced into countless pieces, save for her frozen lower half, her head and body parts scattered all over. When she regained consciousness, she saw Violet's sword at her head, looking down at her from above, and her eyes were filled with terror. What is going on? How did I get hit again? How did she do that? Violet looked at her coldly and said, "Too weak. Weaklings like you are only fit to gaze at my toes and kneel before me." With that, she raised her hand, and with a boom, shattered the Frost Demon Zombie King's proud ice domain into pieces. The Frost Demon Zombie King was utterly stunned, while Ling and Arya were thrilled. Sister Violet is amazing, she shattered the barrier so easily. After all this, Violet looked up in a certain direction. "Zombie, look, I've mastered psychic power now." Meanwhile, outside the barrier, Zombie was holding up a building thoughtfully. "Not bad. Looks like Violet doesn't need my help anymore, right?" Prince Kai and Greta, who were clinging to his leg to stop him, quickly agreed. "That's right, Violet has already won. Boss, please put the building down and withdraw your powers. Otherwise the fortress will really be destroyed." As the battle ended, cleanup inside the fortress began quickly. After Greta used his power to clear the battlefield debris, Prince Kai hurried to his teammates, announcing that the rescue team would arrive soon and telling everyone to rest. At this moment, Violet, having reverted from her transformed state, stood by Zombie's side and whispered, "So this is how Greta became a zombie, but why doesn't she look like Aggo? She actually looks pretty good right now." Because she's still alive, she's just been infected with zombie genes, similar to your zombie form. But to humans, she's already considered a zombie, so there will be a lot of trouble ahead. As they spoke, Greta found 2 survivors in the rubble. The rescued mother and child thanked their savior again and again. But when the mother saw what Greta looked like, she grabbed her child, backed away in fear and said, "Don't follow us. Mom, the young lady saved us, shouldn't we thank her? Just because she saved us now doesn't mean she won't turn into a zombie and attack us later." We've all heard stories like that before. Watching their backs as they left, Greta's face was filled with disappointment. Violet then said to Zombie, "No matter what the people think, I am always willing to trust you and your companions. When I enter my second zombie form, I can feel my personality change drastically, and I even say some pretty cringy things. But no matter how I act, my will is never affected, I'm still myself. So I believe, no matter what you become, you'll always be the zombie I know." Hearing these odd words, Zombie looked at Violet in confusion, making her blush. "Why are you staring at me like that? Did I say something wrong?" "No, I just remembered something. We came to this world of memories so you could master psychic power. Now that you've succeeded, how about some combat training here? Let's test your limits. After all, here we don't need to worry about collateral damage." At this, Violet was startled and quickly protested, "It's fine if the problem is solved, there's no need for more combat training." Meanwhile, elsewhere, the devouring moon zombie king was ordered to keep watch over the frost demon zombie king. He threw a handful of dust at her. "Stop playing dead, wake up." The frost demon zombie king responded irritably, "Quit bothering me. You dead dog, you actually surrendered to the humans, you're a disgrace to zombies. Lord Source will never forgive you. What do you know? If I'd dared resist, I'd have ended up like Shadow Blade, gone for good. That lord can wipe out any zombie at will." Hearing this, the frost demon zombie king was shocked. "Can wipe out all zombies?" That's right, even though he's in a form we've never seen, the zombie with the humans is without a doubt zombie, the source of all zombies, the supreme lord we've been waiting for. But that doesn't make sense. Did our lord send us here just to get beaten up? The lord must have his own reasons, we just do as we're told. Meanwhile, after Violet refused his offer of training, Zombie replied seriously, "Since you've mastered psychic power, there's no reason for us to stay here any longer. Let's head back." Hearing this, Violet anxiously asked what would become of Arya and the others. Zombie replied, "After the fortress defense, humanity launched a counterattack, broke through the dead zone, and began to suppress the zombie tide. As for the source after that, I'd rather not recall it." As soon as he finished speaking, Zombie suddenly felt an itch on his head and scratched frantically. "What's going on? Why don't I want to remember that part? What exactly happened next?" As Zombie struggled to recall, mysterious patterns began to appear on his head, and his sealed memories were gradually awakened. "I remember now. After we defeated the source and realized he couldn't be destroyed, I completely devoured him and sealed him away in my memories through amnesia. As long as I didn't recall him, he couldn't be reborn. But now, the seal is breaking, and that indestructible zombie source is about to return." Just as Zombie's memory seal was about to break, a sudden incident occurred in the core of the dead zone. This region was said to be inaccessible to humans, teeming with zombie tides that could overwhelm all life, and guarded by powerful dead zone lords. Any creature who trespassed would be eliminated. At that moment, a giant griffin-like lord was staring down intently. A large group of intruders was swaggering into the area, none other than Zombie's underlings from H City, who had been drawn into the memory space. Led by Argon, they strode boldly inward. Argon put on a hat reading Zombie Tour Group. "What you're seeing now is the forbidden dead zone of zombie from thousands of years ago. Stick close to me, don't get separated." The zombies from H City looked around curiously. "These guys are so cool. Did they grow up eating eggs like us? They all look so strong and sturdy." Dawn, at the rear, looked worriedly at the menacing dead zone zombies all around, who looked ready to attack at any moment. In contrast, her group's zombies were short and nonchalant, pointing at things and taking pictures for social media. Worried, Dawn asked, "Are we really okay like this? Sneaking in disguised as a zombie tide is clever, but you guys look way too different from the zombies here, plus there are humans with us. Won't this attract their attacks?" Argon gave a thumbs up. "Don't worry. In this era, zombies respect only strength, and lord-level fights are always one-on-one, no ganging up. With Argo's power, we can do whatever we want here." Meanwhile, Ago had already defeated a Lord-level zombie king and stomped him into the ground. Alright, stop resisting. From now on, we're all zombies colleagues. Listen up. From now on, your turf is zombies' turf, your underlings are zombies' underlings. Got it? When the Lord didn't answer right away, Ago stomped on his head several times. The zombie king quickly said he understood. That's better. Don't ever make me ask twice. Answer faster next time, understand? As the Lord was subdued, Agon took photos and said, "See? This is the iron rule set by the source of the zombie tide, no zombie dares break it." The department head Chen asked, "Setting behavioral rules for zombies worldwide, I thought only zombie could do that. That source you mentioned must be powerful." "Of course. In my memory, the battle with the source was when the king came closest to death. Back then, the king and his companions entered the dead zone, defeated many dead zone lords, and finally found the source. The king challenged him, but the opponent was too strong, he was completely overpowered and didn't even have time to regenerate. Fortunately, his companions fought desperately, buying him enough time to return with greater power, a new form, and resume the fight. Even so, he couldn't defeat the source. During the battle, the king revived and died over and over, evolving ever stronger forms as he fought. The battle lasted 7 days and 7 nights, and the dead zone was erased from Earth. When it ended, the king was so injured he could barely regenerate, a narrow victory indeed. After hearing this, Dawn was shocked. The source is even scarier than Mecha Zombie, but at least Zombie finally turned him to dust. But then, Agon said seriously, the king said the source didn't die, he couldn't destroy him, so he just sealed him away. The department head Chen and Dawn were startled. He wasn't killed. Then where did Zombie seal him? Agon, imitating Zombie, replied, "Of course he forgot. It was thousands of years ago, the king himself said so." Just as Dawn was about to complain, the ground shook with a thunderous rumble, and a crack spread at their feet, soon forming a bottomless chasm. Then, vast amounts of red liquid floated up from the fissure. Of course Zombie can't remember, how could he dare recall me? I am his most terrifying memory. Before their stunned eyes, the red liquid mingled with stones, and gradually formed a giant made of rock. Zombie could not truly destroy me, so he used his own brain as a prison and sealed me in this world of memories. The moment he remembers me is the moment of my resurrection. Meanwhile, Zombie was sweating coldly, a rare sight. Because of the source's revival, he was forced into his second form. As the giant appeared, Violet asked anxiously, "What is that thing?" "That giant is just his twisted amusement. The real danger is about to emerge. Violet, before it appears, take everyone and run as fast and as far as you can." Seeing Zombie so tense for the first time, Violet realized how serious the situation was. But before she could escape, the source fully revived, and shot toward Zombie with a swoosh. "Zombie, let's continue our battle from thousands of years ago." Zombie rushed to shield Violet. "Violet, go, don't worry." Before he could finish, the source crashed into him with a boom, severing his arm. As Violet screamed, Zombie was dragged through the city wall in an instant, appearing kilometers away. In a flash, he was then thousands of meters in the sky. Zombie immediately switched to his third form, rapidly regenerated his arm, and created distance from the source. The two then began their epic aerial battle. Watching their earth-shattering fight, Violet suddenly realized. This was not just a memory, something real had emerged from Zombie's brain. As everyone looked on in shock, Zombie kept ascending higher to keep the battle away from the others. But in a moment of distraction, the source seized his arm, maneuvered behind him, and poured red liquid rapidly into his body. Still thinking about those humans. "Zombie, you disappoint me. When you sealed me in your memory, you should have known, once I break free, I will control your mind." No matter how Zombie struggled, he couldn't resist the source's invasion. As the source merged into his body, mysterious patterns appeared on Zombie, and his appearance began to change. In the next instant, the source had completely taken over Zombie's body. "Zombie, after all these thousands of years, in the end, I am the victor."